Hello and welcome to yet another Matt Clewes with, and I'm joined by someone who's very busy. I always think she's busy all the time anyway. It's Poppy Scarlett. Hello.
Hello, hi. I give that illusion. However, I don't know if that's actually true. I have actually had a catfish marathon today via MTV, so I was very busy.
Catfish. Do you know what, right? Every time I hear catfish, it makes me think of three things, and it's either, oh, I've been catfished, Catfish the TV
Yes.
show, and then also the Catfish the band, which um, I'm guessing they didn't get their name from any bad experiences.
No, I mean it would be interesting if they had of though, wouldn't it? We've
I
all we've
know.
all been there, I think. I mean, I know I have
Yeah, I know
a
what you mean.
few times.
Yeah, I completely agree with that as well. Um,
Yeah.
so how have you been? You've been okay? You keeping busy and doing all sorts at the moment in this state that we're in, of course.
I mean, it's a great time to be busy, isn't it? Lockdown, really, just
Yeah,
in the house. Just to be honest, I have actually quite enjoyed this lockdown in the sense that I'm applying for a job, so I'm applying
good.
for jobs. So I've
Yeah,
just been doing that really, and I've had some time to get my electric guitar back out and start jamming on that again. So
cool.
that's been quite good fun. And yeah, just thinking about getting back into the music side of things again. I did have a year hiatus,
Yeah,
and that's what I've spent this lockdown doing. Really, just
yeah,
getting back to my blog and wanting to perform whenever that will be. I
yeah.
think.
Because obviously the last time we saw you perform, obviously, was Give a Gift when you did that little gig for us at the end of the year.
Yes, yeah, that was great. Yeah.
And
Uh,
so what's the year been like? Have you sort of taken literally a step back from music? Have you done any writing at all, or has it just literally been, I'll do that at some point?
Yeah, it's been really weird actually. So, I mean, it coincided with me. Basically, I got COVID
Oh, really?
in sort of start of April, and they didn't really know much at the time. It was really bad. My mum had it as well. She's an NHS nurse,
Mm,
so our fate was almost sealed in a way.
yeah,
And uh, and after that, I had long COVID, which is why I wasn't doing music for all this time. And basically,
yeah,
what it caused is I don't know if you've heard of it, but like TMJ.
right.
It's like when your jaw goes out. And it's like a chronic case where your jaw
Wow,
just dislocates all the time.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. Who
Okay.
would have thought it? I was
That
like,
is,
this can't be because of long COVID. But it's turned out to be a really common symptom, and
right.
that has put everything musically, like singing wise, to a bit of a stop. But it's getting a lot better now. But that was really hard actually. So that's why I took a step back because I just couldn't sing at
Mm,
all, and that threw me off writing. If you know what I
yeah,
mean, once there's one obstacle,
yeah,
um, that's almost it. But now I'm feeling better. I'm easing myself back into it and trying to focus on the old guitar
yeah. Of
um
course.
to ease myself into it. But that's literally the only reason. And obviously I lost like everyone else, I lost 4 paid gigs when COVID
Mm,
started, and they were quite big gigs as well.
mm,
And I think for me that just knocked me a bit as well. I know everyone's in
yeah.
the same boat, aren't they?
No, of course. So obviously you say long COVID. How long? Like, obviously it's probably knocked you out for what most of the year last
Yes.
year, I guess.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
there any sort like what signs did you
Mm.
have? Did you obviously your mum's a nurse, obviously there's always that risk.
Yes, yeah. It's I mean, if anyone wants to know, it's always good to share, to be honest, because there were symptoms that I would never have likened to it. So I developed asthma after having COVID,
Mm,
which I think is quite a common thing
mm,
to happen, and it's a lot better now. But I'll have to take an inhaler, for long term. And then I had the photosensitivity, so I was seeing black dots all the time, and I was
all
thinking,
right.
what on earth is happening?
Yeah.
I couldn't really look at bright lights without my eyes stinging, things like this. And then my muscles really ached, like my joints, and that's quite unusual for me.
Mm,
and just the jaw situation, a bit of dizziness as well. And I thought, this is so strange. I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so they did a lot of routine tests and everything was actually looking quite healthy, apart from I had a blood test where it showed signs that there'd been a virus.
Right.
They weren't able to say what, and then they did the whole antibody
Yeah.
test, and it all came out in the wash. So yeah, so it's taken from sort of April until now really to start shifting. But if anyone's listening, it does. I think, you know, it has for me. It has stopped being as bad, and I don't feel tired anymore. I don't. My muscles don't hurt or anything. It's just my jaw. So
Mm.
so boring of me to talk about. Sorry, but
No, no, not at all. Get it all out. It's absolutely
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Um,
just to stop anyone worrying, you
yeah,
know, because it can feel very strange. But
yeah,
if you just make sure you look after yourself and chill out, and you know, a lot of self-love, then that'll
completely.
be all right.
Yeah, completely. But as you say, you picked up your guitar back. You picked up your guitar again. Um,
Yeah, my old guitar, I've missed it.
how good was that to get it back in your hands and start play again?
Oh, do you know what? I don't know what it is about a guitar, but it just feels so therapeutic.
Mm,
It's like I love singing to bits, but you know what note you're gonna get with the guitar, no
yeah,
matter what,
yeah,
unless it's severely out of tune.
yeah,
Um, you look at the notes and you play it, and you've got the song you want.
yeah,
And I really quite like improving on the guitar as
yeah.
well. So like a pentatonic improv, or you know, like a bluesy improv. I don't know. I just find it so cathartic. I could spend hours on my guitar,
I know what you
honestly.
mean. No, no, do you know what? I totally agree. Because in fact, bear with two.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so I have a guitar, right?
Look at that.
Don't ask me to play it because I can't.
Play it.
I can't play it. Look, I'll give you any something. It's not.
Oh, that's you're through.
What?
If this was Britain's Got Talent, I would. That's all you'd have to do is that one chord, and you're through.
There you go. Two chords. Aren't you lucky? That's not. No one else gets
Yeah,
that.
it's a
Um,
golden ticket.
I'm learning. I'm learning. I off
Oh,
my birthday last year after giving it up for a good few years because I
yeah.
had an awful teacher back in school. I just gave up and I thought, "Do you know what? I'm gonna have get back to it and learn properly. And I haven't just yet, but
There's time. There is so much time.
I'll get there. And I'll
There's
tell
a
you,
lot of time.
yeah, exactly. So I'll tell you the reason. So basically, because give a gift gig that you did um for Give a Gift in late November now. I usually perform that with a couple of mates in the live. We usually, because obviously we couldn't do the live one, we usually do in Southampton. We obviously went virtual this year, but we
Yeah,
usually do that gig every year. We've done it for the last 3 years, and I thought, right, one of my mates can play guitar and piano, and one of my other mates also plays electric. I thought I've got to bring something to the band other than just my
yeah.
voice, so that's why I've decided that I've got to just at least learn one song by the time the next gig comes around.
I think
So
that's brilliant. I think that's really determined,
yeah,
and why not add a string to your bow? I mean, what I
exactly.
will say with learning the guitar, as I'm sure you're aware, is that
Yeah.
you have to have perseverance, because
Yes.
those bar chords aren't going to come out on the first strum.
I wish they did.
Uh, but they did you find them hard or easy, the bar
I'm
chords?
struggling. I just can't.
Yeah, I
You know
know
what?
they're
It's the fingers.
rotten.
I knew the fingers were gonna hurt,
Yeah, they
but
do big
I
time.
just want it to be perfect every like from the off, and it's just like, oh, I actually have to start from scratch.
Yeah, no, it's different to singing, because like with singing, I think when you know your voice, you sort of know
Mm.
how to manipulate it, don't you? Whereas with the
Yeah,
guitar, you have to put a bit of trust into the guitar
yeah.
itself. So
We'll get there. We'll get there. It's
yeah,
fine.
I'm excited to see when you do get there. You got to upload a video. You got to
Oh,
share it.
of course. You'll be the
Good.
first to see it, I'm sure, and we'll see it. Um, so obviously I've started playing guitar. Have you started doing anything a bit different that you wouldn't have expected to be doing?
I mean, musically, I have wanted to learn the ukulele, and I
Okay.
started,
Yeah.
but I didn't carry on. I would say, if this counts, I'm starting to learn Logic Pro again because it's been a few years since uni and I'd forgotten everything. And because of the podcast I do with my best pal Jamie, I've needed to get back into knowing how to do Logic.
Yeah.
And that's also made me interested in doing like home recording again and things like that. So I would say that's what I've got into probably is getting to know the beginners sort of basics of Logic
Yeah.
Pro, which is quite hard.
I've heard a lot about it, but yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Anything is good. Anything is good. But you're not baking like banana bread or
I'm trying to think now. What have I been doing?
because
Oh,
honestly, I've
it's
never seen so
terrible,
much
isn't it?
banana bread in my life this last 12 months.
I have to disclose this. I can't cook or bake. I can't.
Nothing
I
at all.
try, but I can't. I can't. I burn things like it's a habit, and
Sounds-
I don't know what it is. I I try and be patient. I
Yeah.
try and figure out the timings. Sometimes my mum is there helping me. You know, I just am not made for cooking. However, I make a brilliant cup of tea,
And
if that helps.
sometimes that's all that matters.
You know, you do. I would say to someone, you do the dinner, but this gal over here, I'm going to do the tea. So,
So what would you eat at uni then? Like what would be a classic
oh
meal?
God!
Go
Well,
on, just bring it out
my
because I
my
know what mine is.
friends will be shaking their head right now. If they're listening, they'll just be like, "This is tragic." So, I would live on scrambled egg on toast or crumpets,
Okay.
or paninis from the student union bar, caramel macchiatos because they had a Starbucks concession, and the odd banana because you got to get at least one every 5 a day in.
Yeah, that is fair
And
enough.
yeah, that was about it. And if I wasn't doing that, I would be getting takeaway food. And I don't know how I stayed so fit and healthy. I don't know because when I eat, like I had a Nando's last night. Dare I have a Nando's at the ripe old age of 25? Because suddenly my cardiovascular system is like, oh, I'm too tired to do anything. I like become so unfit after one Nando's. So
I know, but it's okay. This is the next question then. What is your Nando's order? Because there's always discussion about this.
here we
Are
go.
you? How hot are you going?
I'm going for, is it coconut and lemon, their new one? Something like that?
There's a new one.
Yeah, it's like coconut and
I'm so
something.
outdated. I see. I'll
I'm
go
not
lemon and
high
herb.
on it.
You're not.
I see, I would be lemon and herb,
Okay.
if not. Okay, I vibe with that lemon and herb. Let's say that.
Lemon and herb.
Definitely. And I would usually get the lemon and herb chicken wrap, right?
Yeah.
With added halloumi,
Yeah.
okay, macho peas
Okay.
and peri salted chips.
Okay.
That's what about you?
That is
What's your?
strong. Oh, see, I would obviously go lemon herb.
Yeah, that's a shout.
Chicken butterfly.
I've never had it. I've never had chicken
Have it.
butterfly.
Have it. Please.
Well, there's always time tomorrow night.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Then I depends how I'm feeling because I would sometimes I'd probably go rice and coleslaw.
That is a shout because it's not, you're mixing it up. The textures are different, the taste,
Exactly.
there's a variety.
Yeah. If not, I would just swap the rice for the chips if I'm feeling daring and if I think I've earned
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So
chips are a lot, isn't Fernando's, if you're
yeah.
having the chips, you're going full
Mm,
out.
yeah. You can't have a burger and the chips, it's just too much.
Is it?
Well, it probably is, but
Uh-oh,
I'm just
guilty
making
as
sure.
charged.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna say a little birdie told me, but there is no little birdie because I just know. So you're from Ipswich. I've also got a friend from Ipswich, and every
Oh, have
time,
you?
yeah, well, every time I talk through uni, every time he talks about Ipswich, he can't help but mention Ed Sheeran.
Mhm,
Now
mhm.
I know you've got a little Ed Sheeran story, but I also feel like
Oh,
everyone in Ipswich has an Ed Sheeran story.
that is most likely to be correct.
Go
Most
on then.
definitely. We even had like a brief exit, well, quite a long sort of museum for him. And like when the museum went up, yeah, no, I'm deadly serious. Like it was it was at the back of this museum we've got called Christchurch Mansion.
Hmm.
And when the museum first went up, bearing in mind he's only a young lad really, and
Yeah.
he's got a museum already. Crazy. They put banners up in the town centre, like these regal banners with like this Monet sort of portrait of him. It was like he was the royal family. It really was.
Prince
So
Ed.
that's how much we love Ed. Yeah,
That is brilliant.
yeah.
So what was the story with? Is it your mum then that has the Ed Sheeran?
Yes, it is. So my mum Kate was invited to
Shout
her
out.
best friend's. Yeah, shout out to Kate. She will be listening to this, and I'll probably be with her
Love it.
when I'm listening. So there we go. So basically, what happened is my mum was invited to a wedding, one of her best friend's weddings, and it was out in the country. And I was 15 at the time. I wanted to go. I was invited, but my mum wanted a bit of a booze up and to hang out with her pals.
Yeah.
And I was the anti-booze police at 15, but
The-
within a 3-year period, that quickly changed.
yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I hit uni, that was a whole different
Yeah. No
story.
scrambled eggs in.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So what happened, she attended, and she came back the next day very weary, very hungover, and she was sat down and she went, "Oh, Pops, there was, in the ceremony, it was really beautiful, there was this red-haired guy, and he was, quite young, and he sung a lovely version of Make You Feel My Love on the guitar." And I was like, "That's amazing, Mum. What was his name?" And she went, "Ed, Ed, Ed Sheeran." And I said, "You what? Are you serious?" And she was like, "Yeah, Ed Sheeran. He was my best pal's stepson's like best mate, and he's doing it as a favour." And I said, "Mum, I don't believe you right now. You know for a fact I listen to him every day, like the Loose Change EP. I listen to it all the time." And she went, we even had a cup of tea with him. We were in the kitchen, and they were having a few drinks, and he made us all a cup of tea, and I had a chat with him. I said, "Sorry, are you serious?" And she said, "Yeah." So that's it. So basically, my mum got to have a cup of tea with Ed Sheeran, and I was at home studying for my science GCSE.
That's a good Ed Sheeran story.
Isn't it?
That is.
I'm jealous though. I live vicariously through my mum every time I tell that. But I have met Ed Sheeran.
Oh,
I
okay.
have met him
What was he
at
like?
the. He was lovely. He was a
Lovely.
lovely boy, very wholesome, very grounded. I met him at the Ipswich High Street HMV album signing.
Love that.
And it was quite embarrassing because I went up to him and went, "Mum loved you at so and so's wedding. My mum was there." And he went, "Oh, that's great to hear." And then I just moved on.
You should have said. Did you tell him the story?
No, because I got what is it? I got shimmied on, like someone's like,
Oh
"Come
yeah.
on,
Yeah. You've
come
had your
on
time.
now."
Off you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I had 10 seconds of glory, and then
It's
I
all
was
right.
off.
That's all right. You could hold that
Yeah.
forever. Hold it forever.
Yeah. I cherish that. But have you met any like music celebs? Have you come
Uh,
across any?
I don't. Do you know what? I don't know. Not really. There was once a time when um the Saturdays, right, had brought out their book, and I'm still living back home in Kent, and they were doing a book signing in Bluewater Shopping Centre.
Oh, the place to be for book signings is Blue Water.
It is, and
Yeah.
they were in there, W.H. Smith. They walked in front of me because everyone
Did
was
they
like,
really?
"Yeah, they did, yeah." But people were queuing for days.
I love him.
Do you know what? It's ridiculous.
Mm.
But yeah, there was peak Saturdays vibe. Peak Saturdays vibe. It was unreal.
I love that. The Saturdays were a big part of my adolescence. They
Were
really were. Yeah. I remember Frankie Bridge wore this horrendous, like puff dress. It was like really puffy out dress with
Yeah.
like multicolored hearts all over it. And I went out and bought it from Topshop at the time, and I wore it to the under 18s event at Liquid nightclub, and I felt like the bee's knees. Now I look back at those photos and I think I was not the bee's knees at all.
But
I
you,
thought wrong.
but you thought you were in the Saturdays, and that's all that matters.
I did, yeah. I was an honorary member for one night.
Yeah, I have to say Frankie is my favourite member as well. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
From the S Club
Well,
Juniors days.
yes. What is it? One step closer to
One
heaven.
Step Closer, Automatic High. I mean, what bangers.
Oh,
Underappreciated, I would say.
yeah. Absolutely. Second that.
um, Moving on, because yeah, this is just. You would have thought we'd be talking about the Saturdays. The only other, to be fair, before we move on, actually, the only other person I can think of that's actually relatively, quite big in the
Yeah.
football world, Harry Redknapp.
I mean, come on, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think I've driven past his house once,
you
when
probably
I was
have, 'cause
visiting my best mate.
he lives in Sandbanks, and literally,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
yeah. I think she drove me past it and was like, "That's where he lives." I was like, "Oh my god, mate,
funnily,
beautiful."
yeah, so nice. Funnily enough, I was with my friend Pete, who is from Ipswich. He's my friend from Ipswich, and we both went to meet him. And yeah, we met him twice, and met him in
Oh,
a
that's
restaurant,
cool.
interviewed him, had a chat. Such a nice guy. And then second time we met him, he bought us a cup of tea, offered us breakfast, and he was reading the newspaper, trying to do his horse racing bets for the day.
Love that. He was already so comfortable with you guys. He was so relaxed. He was like, "Hi guys, just doing my horse horse betting, horse racing."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's how sporty I am.
Yeah, it was good. It was cool. It was a nice trip, definitely. But just gotta sneak into more gigs, I think, to be honest.
Yes, I mean that's all. Or you just hang around near Oxford Circus, because when I was living in London, I tended to see quite a few
Oh
of the
really?
celebs walk past. I walked past Robert Sheehan
Oh really?
from Umbrella Academy and Misfits. Oh,
Oh.
just pulled my headphones out. Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry about that technical difficulty.
That's a good
I'm all
tactic
back.
though.
Yeah, it's and then who else I see? Eliza Doolittle.
Oh yeah.
From back in the day, I saw
Back
her,
up. Back
and
up.
then
Oh.
who's it? Yeah, and Rollerblades.
Oh.
That
Yeah, yeah.
Skinny Jeans. That's it.
Skinny jeans are when you that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Big
So
one.
I saw her, and then I think it was David Gray.
Oh,
Yeah.
go
So
on all.
hang around there.
I might do that, spend a day there. Once we
Yeah.
can, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
all
cry.
that. So you're on a podcast, you're on my podcast, but you also have a podcast that you've been doing this year. Talk to me about that.
Wow. First of all, thank you again for having me on your podcast,
That's all
because
right.
it's great fun. I'm loving it.
Good.
So my podcast is not just mine; it's both mine and my best mate Jamie's. So we've got a podcast called Poppy and Jamie versus the World. And we've just come into the end of our first season. So, episode 8, which is all about 2021, the year to come, will be out either the end of this week or the start of next week.
Yep.
But we've discussed a lot on it. We've had guests. So, one episode we did was on mental health, and my mum's a mental health nurse, so I had the pleasure of interviewing her, which was
Amazing.
actually it was actually really helpful. I jokes aside, that's I learned a lot just from
Yeah.
talking to her. So, but we've talked about live music and gigs because of what the industry's going through, and then we've got one on reality TV, which ended up being hilarious. We had Jamie's best friend Amy on, and yeah, we just talk about popular culture
Yeah.
and the arts, I guess. But it's great fun, and we love having people on, and we've got lots more to come. Well, I mean, season 2, granted we can, we're going to be putting episodes on YouTube.
Cool.
So like in this format, so
Yeah.
with the old scene. But yeah, so please check it out. Basically on any listening platform, I think it's Spotify,
Yeah.
iTunes, I'm trying to Apple
Yes.
Podcasts. It's Poppy and Jamie versus the world, and our Instagram is Poppy Jamie Pod.
Love it. So
Thank you.
obviously you're versus the world. Do you see yourselves taking on the world?
Absolutely. Do you know what? I think it's from the stance that both Jamie and I are very similar. So like we both we've spoken about this in the mental health episode as well, like understand what anxiety is, like social anxiety, normal anxiety, and we can both be worry beans sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's to the point where when we're together it makes us laugh. So like we'd just walk into such funny situations, and sometimes it would feel like the world was against us. So I think that's where it's sort of come from,
Yeah.
is that we put our very bobbled minds to the test and discuss what's happening. But it is really funny, actually. I'm trying to think of an example. There was a corner in the office at work, right?
Yeah.
And every time you go round it, it was one of those blind corners.
Yeah.
And we're such worriers that every time we went to the kitchen, we both approached this corner with such caution. And because we'd just be worried about bumping into someone
Yeah.
coming around the corner. And so much so that I bumped into the assistant to one of the big roles, and
Yeah.
she had her lunch in her hand. Yeah.
Did
So
it go
things
everywhere?
like that happen, all the time. So I think that's where we're coming from. We're just trying to tackle the world, basically.
I don't blame you. It's a good time to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 2020 and 2021 have decided to be quite naughty, really, haven't they? So
Put them on the naughty step. That's where they deserve to be.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so you're taking on the world, but now it's come to the time where you have to take on the game called Object Alphabet.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this all day.
So the winner of the last season was Lauren from Four of Diamonds,
Okay.
who did very well on this game. I had to have 2 rounds of it because she wanted to carry on.
Okay.
So well done, Lauren. But now you've got to carry on. So basically, what you've got to do, you've got to get as many objects in the room you're in
Okay.
with the letter I give you, and you've got 30 seconds to do so to find as many objects.
Oh my god, I'm nervous. I'm
As you,
nervous. I
don't
want
be
to
nervous.
win.
Don't be nervous. It's okay. You're still early on in the series, so you've got a good chance to be top of the leaderboard.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got 30 seconds to find as many objects as you can, beginning with the letter M.
I knew you were
Yeah.
going to say Right.
Right.
Okay. So when do I show you? At the
At the end.
end?
At the end. At the end. Yeah. So you got add 5 seconds already.
No. Oh no, no.
Half your time. 15 seconds gone.
Oh no, no. Oh no. This is really hard.
Sorry. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Oh, got it.
Stop there.
I haven't done very well.
That's all right. It's fine. Let's have a look. What you got? What you got? Letter M.
Okay. Moisturizer.
Okay, that's 1. Good.
Did you say M?
M.
Not N for
No,
November, right?
M. No, M for moisturizer.
Mate, and a money box.
Money box 2. Yeah, that's good.
There
Like
we go.
that. Monkeys. Is that monkey or
A
giraffe?
mask.
Mask. Yeah. Topical.
Mask. And a mat.
That's good. 4 is good. That's a good solid score.
What's the high score?
So 7 was the highest score from last.
Oh!
But it's fine. It's fine. 4 is good. 4 is good.
I want to. If you ever have me back on, I'll beat that. Okay.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. End of the series, we're gonna have a showdown.
Okay.
But you're top of the leaderboard now. So series 2, you're
Yeah,
talking.
but I mean, it can't have been that hard to beat top of the leaderboard at this point.
No comment. So done well though. 4 is good. 4 is good. So finally, what are you thinking? 2021. What's going to happen? Where do you want to get to?
Do you know what? What a question.
I know.
And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Basically, I just want to enjoy the little things, I think, because 2020 did change my perspective on a lot of things. And mainly, I just want to get back into music. I really miss it. It makes me feel quite sad that I sort of had that hiatus. And I just want to get really involved in the industry again. And I feel very passionate about supporting as many artists as possible. So attending as many, like, I don't know, interactive gigs, like trying to support as many people in the industry as possible, because I think we all need it, don't we? So
Yeah.
probably that, and just learning to be grateful. That's what I think I need to do, because it's hard, isn't it, when you're in your 20s and that everything's so exciting in quotation marks,
Mm,
and busy and vibrant, and you sort of can sometimes lose your way. And I feel like 2021, I want it to be a year of zen.
Zen.
Yes, a year of zen and focus. I don't know. That's more like crab nippers.
Yeah.
But
No, I think Who
I
knows?
don't know. But we'll go with it.
That's cool, and I completely agree with you. So I'm exactly the same as you in terms of just making sure everyone's supporting each other, and
Yeah, definitely.
because at the end of the day, everyone needs each other. So
Yeah. That's such a nice way to look at it as well. It's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours, but obviously we won't be scratching backs because of the Also, you wouldn't do that anyway.
no,
So I'm saying you don't do that because of the pandemic. I don't
that's
think
one
people
thing
do
you
that
could use
anyway.
that's what the end of the guitar for, isn't it? Where you just
Oh yeah, what a great idea. Yes. That'll get the spot as well, that I reckon.
and that way I'm still picking it up.
Yeah, exactly. It's still being used.
Exactly. So, buddy, at this time next year, we will meet again, right? And we will say, look, I've learned a song, you've written a song, and then
Yeah,
we've won, haven't we?
there we go. And we should collaborate.
We
That's what we
should.
should do.
We should. I'm all
That's,
for this. Do you know what? The amount of people that say that to me, and it never happens, right?
I wouldn't do that. I'll be right here.
Right. So you have to hold that. I'm making you hold that now. It's happening.
Yeah, definitely. I really want to collaborate with as many people as possible, because I feel like you do learn a lot. Like,
No,
without
definitely.
sounding very cliche,
Hmm.
I do feel like there's because I play quite a lot with a band called Raz. I haven't played in ages, but I love them to bits and they're very talented. And every time I jam with them, I learn something.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Making it happen. And I think that is a good way to end it. So you're
oh,
gonna have to
thank
wait
you
and
for
see.
having me. Yeah, yeah. Thanks so much for having me.
Anytime at all. It's been Matt Clewes with Poppy Scarlett. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And see you very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.